Today we're going to take a random card in Magic the Gathering and use it to build a deck. I got a request on how to build combos inside of decks, and today we're going to do that. So first things first, we're going to look for a mythic rare that I have only 3 copies of so far. Looks like Shanna Purifying Blade is one of those cards. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take this and see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and create the 4th card here. Then we're going to decide what we need to do in order to get this card to pop off. Some of the first things we want to recognize is what other cards fit the same color and they also combo. So let's see. At the beginning of end step, draw X cards. So based on what we're thinking about with Shanna, let me make sure the audio is turned down just a little bit. All right, so based on what we're seeing with Shanna, you have to think about the turns that you're playing the cards and then what you should be doing on the second turn after the card is played if the card stays on the field for something like this. Because this card does not do anything on the first turn that is played usually if you play it on turn 3. So we have to plan ahead. So we place this on the field turn 3. That's the earliest this can hit the field. So now we have to start planning for what do we do on turn 4. I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do. Turn 4, let's just say you're able to attack with Shanna. So now that's going to give you, you're going to have lifelink. So that's going to give you 3 life minimum, which then goes with Shanna's effect. 3 life minimum. At the beginning of the end step, you may pay 3 and draw 3. So now, think about that. Turn 4, you have 4 mana available. You're going to want to be able to draw 3 cards with Shanna. So you have 1 mana left. So what are we going to do here is we're going to find a card that protects Shanna when they attack. So that way Shanna does not die. All right, so let's go ahead and find some 1-drops. They're not even drops really, but we want to find some cards that will protect Shanna. I'm going to tell you right now, Boon, a safety, is going to protect it because it's going to give a shield counter. Let's see what else we've got. Anything that does indestructible. So we know green has some indestructible somewhere. Yeah, so, and these are instants too, so they're perfect. We got Tameo safekeeping. Let's see if there's anything in blue. I believe there is something in blue. That just gives it hexproof. Now, how good is that versus these stop it from being destroyed? So what we're going to do is hexproof is okay, but it does not stop the card from being destroyed. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go all in on those 2 cards. We're either going to Boon a safety or Tameo safekeeping. So that way the creature cannot be destroyed. So now we know what we're going to do. Turn 3, play Shanna. Turn 4, you're going to attack, draw 3 cards, and protect. All right. So now we've got that set up. Now we're going to have to figure out what do we want to do on turn 2. And we could also check to see if there's any cards that combo within the same archetype. Doesn't look like there's any there. We'll check out some of these other decks. So nothing there. So we're just going to go and look at some of our rares and mythic rares that could also play along with this deck somehow. So we have creature cards in your hand. So you have this here. This could actually go with it because you could play this on turn 2. It's going to perpetually give Shanna counter, so they'll have 4 attack. It's decent. It's not like you really have to do it. Let's see what else. These are good because we're gonna play tricolors. So we need anything that can help us get the right mana. So we're gonna definitely play these right here because these are basically helping us to make sure we get the right mana on turn 3. As far as blues, I don't see any good blue cards here that would fit, but we want to do stuff that helps with our consistency level of actually getting to turn 3, getting to this card. So let's check and see what else we have here. That's for sagas. We're not really playing sagas. That's for equipments. This is a good card to have in here because it does combo with our boon of safety and safekeeping. So we're going to put the Gleeful in here because you want to think of cards that also combo with other cards you've already put into the deck. So since we're gonna have a lot of creatures, read all the creatures combo, obviously. And that's also Gala Greeter's gonna combo because we got creatures. These are mana setups. So you gotta have different levels of depth in your deck. Like these are setting up for the correct mana for turn 3. All of these are creatures synergies, and these are my keep my creatures alive cards. Now this goes on top of all of that as well because if you have a spell thief and you use any of these, your Shanna on turn 4, spell thief also gets the exact same effect. So now it's like you get in multiple combos off of playing just your normal strategy. And that's the idea that you want behind this. Let's see, when a creature control dies, and then whenever a creature you put it first counter, then draw a card if it has 7 more counters on it. Don't really know how useful that's going to be in the deck. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see how many 8 drops we have here. I mean twos. So we have 10 twos. That's a lot. So we're going to go ahead and move out of the 10 drops. This is another good thing to pay attention to is your how much mana you have. You're spending on average to play your cards. 8 1 drops, 10 2 drops. That's really good. So we're going to move on now and find out what are some other threes that we can put in the deck. And one way that I'll decide what other threes will go in the deck, I'm going to check for mythic rares first. I want to think of something that is similar to Shanna, something that does not really do anything on turn 3, but on turn 4, I can still combo it with Boom and Safety and Tamiyo's Safekeeping. So it's like finding a way that the cards still synergize even if you don't get the main combo. So right now I don't see anything as a mythic rare that would really fit. We got these things here. So let's check. Enters with a shield counter on it. When you attack a player with creature with 1 power or less, draw a card. I'm not sure that any of my creatures are going to have 1 power or less, but this may be good. At the beginning of the end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter each planeswalker. This is okay because chances are I'm going to have one creature. I'll just need a card that's not really going to do anything on turn 3 anyway. So this could be okay. We'll just put it there for now. Let's see. So we want to at least get maybe 2 more 3 drops. Find something else that really synergizes a little bit better. Let's see. Something else that doesn't do anything. So this doesn't do anything really, but I don't think that fits that well. Let's see what else we got here. Welcoming Vampire, that's with power 2 or less. Creatures with power 2 or less. Maybe not, that doesn't work. Oh, this is a really good 3 drop. We will probably just go with this. Let's see, we have any other wizards? No, not really. They're clerics and druids. So yeah, this is a really good 3 drop. I probably will put 3 of these in here. Let's check and see what else we have. However, enters the battlefield. You may exit a creature card from your hand. All right, so it's looking like, wait a minute, well, this is good too, because this puts 1/1 counters, and it doesn't do anything as soon as it hits. So yeah, we're gonna go with this for sure. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna take out one of the brokers because it's good. It's okay in a deck, but it's not crazy. Now, since we actually have the Taurens in here, we actually could put the Rego in here. We could put the Rego in and maybe take the Ascendancy out, believe it or not, because the Ascendancy, I don't see a way that we're comboing it like crazy with this deck so far, but we could put the Rego in here because it actually goes with the Taurens, and then we got these to keep all of our creatures alive, so this seems like a good combo. Taurens, you could actually play Taurens on turn 3 and then drop Rego on turn 4 and attack with Taurens. Yeah, so this is really good. All right. If I had one more rare wild card, I would create just another Rego, and that would seem like a very tight strategy right there. So we're gonna see if there's anything else that kind of fits that. Human cleric, elves, cleric. Um, let's see what else we have here. I really like this card though because it is very, very flexible in what you can do. So I think we're just gonna go with that because we could create a token of a target. It's a 1/1 green frog. So I'm wondering here, is that even useful? It doesn't seem like that's that useful. Let's see. I mean, it does combo with Rego. create a token of something. So no, we're not going to do that. That seems too risky. So you have to be careful of combos that are risky and less guaranteed. So we're just going to put something like this because this can help with our tempo. This can do anything here. Basically, Aether Chandler, we can create a token, a 1/1 if we got Rego in our hand for next turn. We could return a non-land permanent if we really need to push something back, slow them down, or we could just simply draw a card. You can't lose with this card. I put this in every deck where I play blue in, I put this in here because it's just too good on turn 3. It's like, why not play this card? So we got that now. So now we've got 10 cards left. We're going to start adding some 4-drops. So let's look for some other cards that seem like they could synergize. And just remember, the goal is Shanna is down on the field on turn 3. Now we're on turn 4. So let's choose a card that fits well with Shanna being down on turn 4. Let's see what this one says. Choose a battlefield, look at the top card. You can cast spells from the top of your library at any time. This is going to be a good card, period, because it just allows us to cast creatures from the top of our deck. And it also will allow us to cast like our boons and safeties and Tamiyo's safekeeping from the top. So I think we're going to go ahead and add those two in. This will let you put a creature in your hand. We play a lot of creatures. This is probably going to be good. We're just going to put one of those for right now because there is another card I want to put in this deck. This is really good too. When you cast a spell that targets one creature or artifact, then you create a token of that creature and it's not legendary. That's going to be really good because we know that we're single targeting some stuff here. So that's going to be good. This will get us sorcery and instants back from our grave, but this does the same thing. So there's a lot of stuff we could put here in this 4th slot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to thin this out a little bit because we want maximum amount of combo ability. So we need variety. That's something you need to understand when you're making a combo deck. Having variety gives you ability to do crazier combos. So we're going to take out one Falco because we want something like this that buffs all of our creatures. This allows us to get creatures back from the grave. This allows us to get our spells back from the grave. This is just really good. Why not play Wandering Emperor? But it looks like we're starting to run out of space here. Yeah, this is crazy. We're running out of space, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play. We're probably gonna play the Wandering Emperor over the Siphoner for right now. We're just testing some things out. So like it can get wild once we get to turn 4. This is the crazy thing. It can get wild. What else we have here? So you notice we don't have any removal in the deck. We're just worried about comboing. But you see how strong we're making the combos in the deck? That's what's important. So let's move on to our 5th. Okay, so now we still got really great cards to choose from. This is getting hard now. This actually works really well because you can get non-land permanents back. You can tap creatures for control. This one right here, spells can't be countered, and they all have flashback. So I think we're going to have to take this. This is a copier from the grave, so we're copying spells from the grave. I think we're going to have to take that. Yeah, so this is rough. I believe we're going to have to take this. And I am tempted to just go ahead and put the Tamiyo in here. Yeah, and I'm going to take out the Wandering Emperor, believe it or not. Trying to think. Other creatures get 1+1. How important is that? We're going to see. The Mother Rider could possibly come out, or the Wandering Emperor. I believe Wandering Emperor might be a little bit better because at least it gives us some removal option with the exile tap target creature. Maybe we don't need other creatures to get 1/1, but that is too good when you got a lot of creatures. We're going to see here, but I do need to subtract the card. So right now, we're going to keep the Wandering Emperor because having a Planeswalker is just so powerful. We're gonna put this Mother Rider to sideboard if we can get there. Just as something to remember. So that's a good idea when you're building a deck. Just put some other ideas in the sideboard so that way when it's time for you to adjust your deck, you already have in mind which cards you may want to try differently that can still synergize. So Elspeth is definitely going to be, we'll see. But yeah, so this is a very tight mid-range deck, but you can see all the cards combo together. You've got ways to keep getting your spells back. You only have 8 of those. So you got Gale's going to get your spells back. After you get your spells back and they're in the grave, these are going to help you play those cards back from the grave to protect your entire field. This is your card draw here, and you're making tokens, all this other stuff. So there is a lot going on here. And now we're just going to go ahead and do land. So for land, always go for the rare lands first because those are the ones that are going to help the most when you're doing multicolored decks. You want to at least play one of each of these legendary lands if you have them. These can get bogged down in your hand if you have too many of them, but also these are good for removal. So if in this situation, it could be good to play multiple, but let's just move on for right now. You definitely want to play the lands right here where if you have two of the same two colors on the field or two lands on the field, I don't have a lot of those. We got to play the Spar headquarters because that mixes with our archetype colors. Now, specifically for this tricolor combination, um, let's see, we got legendaries. Yeah, we got a lot of legendary creatures in this deck, so let's see. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to play the Plaza of Heroes because this protects legendary creatures. This could be a good late game strategy. Forsaken Crossroads lets you choose any mana of any color, which is good since we have 3 colors. The Portal also lets you choose any basic land type. I haven't used this one yet to see how well this works, but I guess we could try it out. Let's see. So yeah, we got our lands. We're going to keep it this simple. First, there are different ways you can do it. I would suggest just making more copies of these. This should be all you need to really get some consistency with 3 colors. I know other people go different routes to guarantee that they have their 3 colors, but we're going to see how this works out so far. And we're just going to call this Shanna synergy. I don't know what to call it yet. We'll see how the deck plays and see what we think about it. So yeah, 1 drops don't really do anything, but once we hit 2, we're setting up for a perfect turn 3 with 3 colors, and then we can start playing the game. No removal really in the deck, just some few things that can remove, like the lands can actually remove stuff, believe it or not. So we can consider if we're going to put more of these lands in the deck. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get us into a game, get us into a match, and then we'll see how everything turns out. Okay, so let's go ahead and start up a match now. I only play Alchemy, so we're going to go into just a standard Alchemy with the Shanna synergy and see what we get. All right, so this is perfect. First hand turns out really well. You see, Forsaken Crossroads is going to make sure that we have our blue land. We had that to make sure we get the right mana as well. So we got so many ways built in to make sure we don't just lose because of like land and things like that. I'm just going to scry for right now. The Spell Thief is actually going to be pretty good later on. Uh-oh. You're about to do some angel things. So now you see I have a predicament here. Do I play Shanna or Torrance first? We're actually going to play, we're actually going to play, we're going to go with Shanna first because it gives us the ability to draw cards if we're able to get that attack through. So hopefully we'll be able to get the attack through. Let's see. It looks like they're waiting for something. So if they're waiting for something, actually we're going to do this. We're going to play a little bit. Actually, we have the protection here. Let's play a little bit different. Let's say we go Spell Thief, and then if we have to for any reason, we'll cast the Boon of Safety. Yeah, let's just say we're going to go ahead and take the slower route, more combos. Perfect. Perfect. This is exactly what we wanted here. We don't want Spell Thief. All right, we'll take some land. We won't copy that. Cool. So we made him waste something. Perfect. And we got us a scry. So you see that was a good combo. That was a good decision there. Because he had mana up, we thought, why don't we take a different route instead of going to like an obvious route here. All right, so now we're still going to wait before we drop the Shanna. Let's go ahead and just put our land down. Put this down. And then we're going to go ahead and go in for some damage here. Turn that into a land. All right, so we got good pressure on the board as well. I expected them to have more creatures out by now. Okay, so now they're going to go ahead and banish. He should get rid of the Spell Thief if he's smart, and he is smart, obviously. All right, so now we've got this. We're going to go ahead and put the Shanna out because we want to set up for the next turn where Gale is going to come down and get our spell back. All right. So right now we're just going to attack with the land. We don't want Torrents to die. We're going to get protection on the next turn. All right, so perfect. So this turn we can get a lot of synergy going, or we can get a lot of basically this is going to be a good turn. Let's make a green land haste, and we're going to go ahead and attack with everything here. Just boon and safety, whatever we need to, based on their blocks. They block nothing, so we're going to draw. We're going to go ahead and draw 3 cards. We're going to draw 4 cards, actually. Let's see, in turn. Let's just draw 3. We'll take the whole 3, because we got a boon of safety. All right, and so now we got pressure on the board. We got our whole hand restocked. Destroy each permanent, okay, that has the same name as a permanent that dealt damage to you. Destroy each permanent you don't control. All right, so we'll boon and safety this, and there's another boon and safety. All right, cool. So that was a really good thing that he played there. Let's see what we're gonna do now. All right, so we're gonna attack with Shanna again because we have another boon of safety. So go ahead and save it. The farmland, we'll take that because we need a little bit of land. And then, so we're able to draw 3. So we're going to go ahead and draw 2. All right. Instead of putting the acolyte down. So we're keeping our hand full. They are trying to catch up a little bit. They slowed us down with that angel. Yeah, they're slowing us down a little bit because we don't really have removal. So that's starting to become a problem. All right. So let's see what we can do here. So we're missing power cards. That's a good thing to learn or try to figure out when you're doing your deck. You want to think about where could you be getting like a power card that can add into like the whole strategy of your deck, because now that's what we're missing. Now we need a power card that can kind of help us deal with all this. Maybe something that just made us unblockable or something. Trying to figure out what could we have done here, because we're in a sticky position now. We're in a sticky position, so we really got to think. How could we have ended the game earlier? Because we have Clement, we had a safekeeping in hand. So what do we do about bigger creatures just being on the board? My guess is we need something that just makes us unblockable. That is my guess. Like that is all we could do is make something unblockable. So yeah, we're kind of stuck here. Is there anything that gives us an unblockable type thing? We can specialize into maybe white. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here at this point. The Tameo safekeeping sitting on top. So we're pretty much stuck. All right, so yeah, it looks like we kind of deaded out on this one. We need to go ahead and put something in the deck that is going to allow us to be unblockable, basically. So let's go back to the drawing board and figure that out. What can we do that will make my cards unblockable? The Tameo safekeeping unfortunately did not go off in the deck. All right, so we're gonna go back to that deck, the synergy, edit. Let's type in the word block. Let's see what we get. Let's see. And when he specializes, can't be blocked. They'll combination enter. So I put a creature, each creature you control. Okay. Tap target creature. That creature doesn't attack. So emo in could go in place of that. That's one way. So let's take this one out and put something that can't be blocked. The stowaway might be okay because it's drawing us cards. That's possible. Let's check what else we have here. Hmm. The Kraken does do some can't be blocked stuff. Let's try it. Let's take out the Falco because did the Falco really do anything? I mean, it had flying, but let's say we take this out, maybe. Huh. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Let's see what else we have. Wandering Emperor. Do we take this out? That's removal. What else we have? Target creature can't be blocked, but we need something that lasts on the field more than one turn, so that's not going to work. Let's see what he gets. This creature can't be blocked. Okay, okay. So the bear might be a good idea. Hmm. So you got Emo in, and you have the bear. Let's take out one Gala Greeters because my hand did get clogged up with those. And I think we're going to leave it there. I believe we could leave it there. Maybe that will help. So that's another thing about when making decks. You literally just want to look at why did you lose or what was there something, what was the strategy that could have possibly helped you win the game. If I was able to still attack somehow, I believe I still would have been able to win because they only had 7 life and they weren't really gaining a lot of life like I expected them to be doing. They were really just building up a board and flyers I couldn't block myself. So maybe this will help. You can click suggest lands if you adjust some things you want them to change your basic lands for you. But however, you saw the lands seem like they were okay. We didn't draw a lot of lands throughout the game, but that's all right. So we're going to test this out in another video and see if we can maybe get a win with the new deck.